in the middle of it, he goes, "Okay, so I have a request," and he's like, "I'm actually married, and I want to pay you $1,000 to f my wife."
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of I Hate Dating Apps. I'm Gina, and this is Daniel.
Hi there. Today, we're going to be talking about the gay dating experience on dating apps and interesting statistics. Gina, in preparation for this episode, I was looking up some statistics, and generally speaking, gay men are doing better on dating apps than straight people.
What?
Yes, I know, right? They know something we don't know, Gina.
I need to hear about this.
So according to surveys, about 61% of gay men say they had positive experiences in dating apps compared to like 51%. So for straight people, right? Straight people are divided on dating apps. Gay men, a little more positive, 61%.
That makes sense to me a little bit now that I think about it, because one of the reasons why the dating app experience is very difficult for me probably is because I'm trying to date men, right? And I'm a woman, and there's such a big difference between men and women. And I think if I was to date a woman, I don't know, I'm not lesbian. I don't want to speak for lesbians. I'm sure it's difficult over there as well. But yeah, I mean, if we had similar interests and we had similar hormones, I can see how that might be easier.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is a running joke. A lot of straight men will say this, right? If I could just turn myself gay, I would have much better relationships because I can't understand women either.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's like you're both from Mars.
Yes, exactly. Yes, we're both from the same planet. So, if we're compatible sexually, then it should work, right? It has a better chance of working.
Well, and I also think maybe that's a factor as well, right? Because like, how many times have I been on dates where it immediately leads to, hey, so you want to cuddle? And I'm like, are we going to eat first? Do I get a dinner out of this first before you like try to bed me? But then maybe if you also lean that way, because you're also a guy, and you're super horny, like you'd be like, do I want to cuddle? Like, is the Pope Catholic? And maybe that's why that experience happened.
We don't have to speculate because we have guests who actually know about this stuff.
Yes, who have been laughing up a storm while we've been talking. Without further ado, let's bring in the laughers. We have Brian Thompson and Mason Carter, our very good friends, joining us to talk about the gay dating app experience. If you gentlemen could introduce yourselves, Brian.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brian Thompson. I'm a car designer. I live in West Hollywood. I guess apropos that I'm sitting in my car right now. But I have had some experience on them, and happy to be here and grateful to talk to you guys.
By the way, Brian has better boobs than I do.
I don't know about better, and I'm just going for Dolly Parton size here, and it takes a lot of money to look this cheap, so I'll do the best I can.
He's got better boobs than a lot of people.
He's got better boobs than most of my girlfriends. He also has bigger boobs than most of my girlfriends, so that's Brian right there. On that topic, no, I'm just kidding. Mason, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mason Carter. I live in Tempe, Arizona. I'm a student at ASU. And I am also a Uber delivery driver on a e-bike. Ooh, in the summer heat.
Nice. Uber e-bike division. Yes.
I'm also happy to share some of my experiences as a gay man on dating apps.
I cannot wait to hear this because, Daniel and I, while we are of different genders, in case you couldn't tell, we are both hetero and we know nothing about this topic. So, I want to start with Brian. What is your observation about dating apps? What's your experience there, and how long have you been on it? What are you on?
What am I on? You know what? There's a couple. There's like three that I am familiar with. Grindr, Scruff, and then there's I forgot the name. I think it's called Woofies or Sniffies, but that one's really like more of like a right now, right here, right now.
Woofies.
Here's the thing. When I became single a few years ago, that was actually the first time I really tried the apps. I was kind of blind and oblivious to this thing because I just didn't have much need for it. And when you first become single, your heart is kind of tender and broken, and you're not really looking for a relationship. And in my experience, that's what they're good at. And so my very first experience was this like phenomenal experience with this very beautiful man, and he was just gorgeous and lovely. And I was like, this is amazing. It's gonna be like an ice cream store, and I can't wait. And it was like, oh, I guess I found the cherry on top, and the rest is like the mudslide. But it was not always that way. But I think that I have many friends who have found true love on it. I'm Gen X, and it's just natural for me to connect in person more for a like a
Oh, yeah.
relationship thing. Like,
I feel that.
I always say falling in love happens through the nose, because I just, love the way somebody, I love the scent, and you just don't get that in an app. And maybe they will someday. Maybe Sniffies could develop that. Where you're like, okay,
You are on an app called Sniffies.
Yeah. You're onto something.
To summarize again, I found them to be great for quick connections. But as I sort of ease now, I'm ready to date. I'm ready to find a partner. I use them less and less.
I always say it's very easy to cuddle, isn't it? Don't really get into a lot of fights when you're cuddling. So if it's all about that, yeah, I can see how that's very nice. And then, like you said, once you get below the cherry to the actual ice cream, you're like, oh, wait, like we can't do life together.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Ryan, I have a question for you. I've never heard of the app called Sniffies. What is that?
So it's I hope I'm saying it right, because but it's basically like it's people in your area that are really just looking for like right now. Like there's none of this like exchanging lots of like interaction and talking. You just like you see the part you're interested in and you meet.
Yeah, all that bullshit about getting to know each other.
The
Who cares?
non-cuddle part, yeah.
Yeah, cuddle's a good word. But
So when we say right now, we're talking about, the full shebang, right?
like it would be like I'm in the locker room at Gold's now.
Damn.
And it's like it cuts through all of that, and like but again, I'm not in that place right now. Well, I was very much in that place 4 years ago, so I love that kind of stuff. But now I'm like, it's time to get a little ring on it.
Dang. Wait, have you had any locker room experiences, I guess?
I have been known to participate in a group shower here and there.
Oh.
That would never be me, ever.
That would never be you?
I would never do like any group settings, locker room stuff, or any of that. I'm more of a, what would you say, a very reserved type of guy who won't kind of involve myself in things that I don't think that are morally ethical, to be honest.
Well, Mason and I were having a conversation before we jumped on this podcast, and he was saying that that's one of his gripes about the gay dating apps is he feels like so much of it is sex driven, right? Mason, talk about that.
100%. So I believe that in the gay community that it's not more of a relation dominant type of relationships, it's more sexual relationships. And to be honest, Grindr wants to claim itself as a dating app, so-called dating app. However, if you go on Grindr, why is Grindr asking what's your position, your
What?
sexual like preferences? And
Do
all
they
that
really?
stuff?
Oh my God. I did not know that. I mean, I'm not on Grindr, so I don't know, but do they ask those questions?
Yeah, and I think he's right. It sets the tone, and like it's somebody who's been in different phases of my life where that's what you're looking for. It works, but as you move into wanting a relationship, it's like, hey, ain't nobody checking for you. Why you need to like ask me that? That's not your business. So it's weird how they definitely curate.
Yeah, and I mean, don't you get to know that when you get to know the person? Like why do you need to know it up front? Is that going to make you swipe left or swipe right? I don't know. I'm with Mason on this.
You mean position? Like your
yeah, like why do I need to tell you right now in my profile what my favorite position is? Like, don't I talk about that when I get on the date?
No, it depends. I think Brian and Mason are talking about two different perspectives, and it's live and let live, right? But I think what Brian is talking about is if there was a phase in his life when that's what he was looking for, and for that it worked really, really well, right? Now, now Mason doesn't want that kind of stuff. So I'm actually curious, Mason, if you are not looking for, a quick hookup, is there an app out there that is better for that?
Yeah, of course. So as ironic as it is, Tinder for me was where I found relationships.
Well, then why aren't you on Tinder?
I want to focus
question.
on myself. I do want to build myself a little bit more before I
Ah.
start dating people.
Oh,
Good. That's a good answer.
that's
That's
a
Yeah.
great
good.
answer.
Yeah.
That's the path that Brian kind of skipped over. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I think when your heart is broken and you don't want to connect, that's an important thing to just let yourself feel what you need to feel. But as you move, I can only speak to my experience, but like as I've moved back into finding a connection and being and having my heart open again. Ironically, the gentleman that I am interested in at this moment for the first time in 4 years,
Ooh.
I met at a party with friends the old-fashioned way,
Ah.
and it was that old school where eyes locked, and we talked, and the conversation was what led us. And you're absolutely right, Mason. Nobody said, "Are you a top or a bottom?" at the beginning of the conversation. That would be so rude to say that in person. And it's kind of strange that we're like, okay, fine, Grinder, we'll just give that up right away. Like that is a little odd when you're
Right.
talking about love. Like, yeah, it was that's the first thing was just that old fashioned person to person, soul to soul
Right.
connection.
That's exactly what I want. That was another reason why I didn't want to go on Tinder or any other dating app, because I wanted to find something organic. Because if I don't find something organic, then I don't feel like I could truly find a relationship. Because if I'm finding it on Grinder, then I know for a fact that the base set was at hookup. And if I wanted to go find it on Tinder, I know the first base set was looking off at appearance. And I'm only looking on Tinder. I'm like left.
Yep.
I'm not attracted to them. They're not my type. No, not my type. Ooh, okay, he's perfect. Swipe on them. But it's feel like it's not organic. And I want
Yeah.
organic love as a gay man. That's almost impossible nowadays, to be honest, because you can't run across somebody who's one, your type, two, exactly what you're looking for. And if they're gay or straight or not, and it's just hard.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point too. I think like something about the technology right now is limited. What I think we've been missing for so long is that human connection.
So true.
Into what Mason is saying. It at the end of the day, if we are just spirits living inside a human body for a short amount of time, and then we go on to whatever you believe, well, you want to find someone whose spirit connects with you, and it's not in the screen. The screen is such a limitation to flatten it and make it
Yeah.
2D.
I know.
When that actual person is this huge, beautiful thing that you might connect with without even seeing them.
I know, but we're not going back. The genie's out, unfortunately. We're not going back in the bottle. Dating apps are here to stay. So my question to you is, how do you deal with it? Like, what are your observations about the dating app experience? Because so far it sounds very, other than are you top or bottom right off the bat in your profile, it sounds like the experience is very similar to what I go through,
Right.
in that I have to make a snap decision. Do I swipe left? Do I swipe right? Just purely based on appearances and their height and their need or want for children and so forth.
I think that's what Mason and Brian are saying. I think the problem with dating apps is not the technology, because the technology just exacerbates the problems that already exist in what's happening in our lives, right? So technology just makes things efficient. Just the way it makes it efficient for you to order DoorDash, to order food. It makes it very efficient for you to find a bunch of people to hook up with. If at the end of the day, you're trying to connect with as many people as possible because you need a quick fix, yeah, technology is great. But to the point of that Mason and Brian are making, it's that what happens with dating apps is that we put all the fish in the sea.
Yes.
Whether that fish is looking for a soulmate, whether that fish is looking for a communal shower, to hook up real quick, we're all in the same fucking sea.
Yeah.
Right? We're all in the same fucking
Yeah.
sea.
And they only have access to 10% of that sea.
Right.
Like Mason was
Right.
saying, I can go around and
Right.
I see a cute guy. Chances are, if I say, hey, you want to get a drink, chances are he's going to be straight or married, whatever.
Right,
That's
yeah.
the other battle I have to deal with. But chances are that
That's a
Mason
battle.
says that to a guy, and 1 out of 10 are the only people that are going to be suitable for him.
True. Yeah. In real life, I love what you said about, smell, because people say love is chemistry, right? So chemistry is the excuse we use when we don't want to have physics with someone. Right? Yeah. Because it's about that smell. And you can't feel that on an app.
No.
Right.
You can't.
I really
Can
don't
I
want to
add
smell you,
something
though.
here
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
technology. So there's a couple things I've learned in my 25 years in the automotive industry. Is that one, we're always advanced, but we never actually always get it right. And we always look to the younger, always have to look to the younger generation because they, like your generation, Mason, because you see the world differently than we do. And and I hear it in your voice, the desire for human connection, and so much stronger, even and your expectation that you'll have it even more so than the generation I'm in. But one thing I'll add is that I know that because technology that's coming is coming out of the screen, and it's helping people just be immersive with each other and connect in a more human way, that I think that the people, let's say people born today, like even like Mason's kids, they will look at this kind of app that we're talking about the way Gina, you and I and Daniel would look at like 8-track tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just would seem so irrelevant and so silly that we would do this in about 20 years from now.
You think?
But the issue is we're not there yet. We're stuck using this 8-track tape trying to find like hi-fi stereo connection, you know?
Oh my God. Are we just going to do it all on Google Glass?
I think we're gonna all end up with AI boyfriends and girlfriends and
Oh, we're going to go, what is that, Blade Runner?
wives. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And
Or it might go the other way, you know, like I love hearing what Mason says because it's so the energy is powerful, and it makes me see the values of younger people are and expectations, and the sense that you deserve this is different than what we experience, you know, because I grew up in Arizona too. That's a great commonality to bring these two things together, because Mason's experiencing Arizona now and I experienced it in the 70s, right?
Yes.
Like, I didn't even know there wasn't a gay culture. I didn't even know what a gay bar was until I moved to France, you know.
right.
Never been to a gay club.
Oh,
So-
you've never been, Mason?
Never. I don't. I still don't like the idea, because I feel like gay clubs are also oriented in finding somebody, but just purely it's just for fun.
To hook up.
For fun.
I don't know. We have different so like there's a bar in LA called the Eagle. And I feel like there's an old TV show that was called Cheers in the 80s, where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you went there and everybody knows your name. That was their tagline, and it was like a watering hole. And I got to say, like, I don't go there for sex hookups. I go there because I love the bartender and I know them, and I like to sit at a bar and just feel comfortable around in an environment where, you know, no one's going to say anything mean or terrible. So there is a social cultural hub at a bar like that I find nourishing to my soul. And I love when if I walk in the door, everyone's like, "Hi, Brian." I might not get that in a straight bar. And so there are special little gems in that scene.
I still find the sort of excitement just going to just a regular club in a group setting of random people. For me, as you might like go look at me and be like, "What?" I honestly just don't like having friends because I'm gay. I don't want to be like, "Hey, gay, we're friends." Like,
Right.
it's just no. Like, so that's why I wouldn't want to go to a gay club, is because I don't want to precisely look for gay friends. And unfortunately, as much times as I try to make a gay friend, they
Mhm.
look at me for something that I can't give them, because when I want to be a friend, they want to try to have sex with me. They want to try to initiate something else that's not a friendship. And I'm just like, come on, like, why?
That's powerful. I think Mason brings up a really good point. And I think it's all part of it's generational, that you know, because it is a different world than it was when I was a kid. We had to find places where they were safe spaces, where you weren't going to get bashed, even though this is still happening. But you know, you really felt unsafe when you went out in my youth. And but to Mason's point, I struggle I'm just going to say it like this. All of my best gay friend relationships have gotten better once they got a boyfriend, because that underlying tension that Mason is talking about, where there's that little bit of like, I know you're my friend, but I kind of want to sleep with you. That goes away once they have a partner to take that distraction from. And I don't think straight people probably deal with that as much. So it's a really good point you bring up, Mason, and I feel it. So,
Wow.
Well,
A generational divide is definitely coming out here.
to me, this points out to the fact that before internet, before all this technology, things happen by serendipity a lot. Organic, the organic thing that Mason is looking for, that this generation is looking for, used to happen naturally. We didn't even know the term organic because it was all we knew. Now, because we live in a world with apps and everything's very specific, I think generationally, in modern times, going to a gay bar is equated with hookup. Whereas, Brian had a much different experience going to a bar,
Yes, but
at his time.
Also, what's happening now because of the apps is you go to the gay bar, or you go to a bar, or you go to a college campus.
Right.
And whereas
So
you're
very
supposed to be
specific.
meeting people like in class and going, hey, she's cute, you're instead swiping. So that's what annoys the crap out of me is you are in a bar swiping when you should be looking up from your fucking device and locking eyes with somebody just in case that person that you were swiping on happens to be there, or that you might want to swipe in real life. So it's like, I don't, this is a huge pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, here's the ultimate irony, right? As a quick aside, I have a daughter who's college age. She has a boyfriend, her first serious boyfriend in college. And they both go to the same campus. And you know where they met? Not in the library, not in a class. They met on Hinge.
Yeah,
They're on
while
the same friggin'
attending the
campus.
same
Right,
fucking school.
Right.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Our sponsor, Take My Face Off, makes swiping off your makeup just as easy as swiping past a bad profile. Seriously, the Midi from Take My Face Off is this adorable facial mitt that makes skin cleansing faster, easier, and more thorough than any other method I've tried. I seriously love this product. Next time you're tempted to grab a face wipe, use a Midi instead. It's just as fast, but it's better for your skin and the planet. Get free shipping with the discount code DATING at TakeMyFaceOff.com. I know you're busy going on dates, but who's looking out for your family's legacy? Seriously, someone needs to tell your future kids what it was like for grandma or grandpa growing up on the farm, or how hard it was for them to walk to school uphill, both ways, in the rain and the snow. Tell Me Your Tale is a video production company based in Los Angeles that does nothing but create family legacy videos. They'll interview your loved one, either virtually or in person if you're local to Los Angeles, then edit the footage into a gorgeous professional video. Chapter by chapter, you'll preserve your loved one's life story as told by them, in their voice, with their smiles. Give yourself, your elders, and your children the gift of a lifetime by preserving precious family memories. Go to tellmeyourtale.com.
What gives me hope though is listening to Brian Mason, because this is the point of this podcast. Behind all those people that you're swiping and all those profiles and this fucking sea of people, like you think that you're looking at millions of people, millions of targets. They're actually people. These are actually human beings. To Brian's point earlier, we're all spirits living in these bodies temporarily, trying to connect with other spirits. But the apps are just making us, the technology is making us just look at them as numbers. If I can swipe right on 100 women, like if I'm trying to hook up, my chances of hooking up, I just have to keep right. So like, I don't even care about the photos. I'm just going to keep swiping right.
Well, so what do we do about Mason? Because Mason is somebody who you're like just over this shallow kind of like one layer hookup scene. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to find love? Because dating apps is kind of like all we have.
See, that right there, I honestly have no clue.
Oh.
I really don't have any clue, because I don't think love should be convenient.
Ooh.
Amen.
Oh
Love
my
shouldn't be,
God.
I'm going to go grab my phone right now and try to find who I want to start dating. Love is not convenient, people. It really isn't. You're supposed to go out there, walk down the street and go, wow, that person's really attractive, or they look nice and they're very sweet. Let me go up there and talk to them in person. And that's how things should be done. But unfortunately, as a gay man, I'm so limited down to such a short stack of cards. And it's just, I will never say I will never, but I think it's going to be impossible for the time being right now for myself to be able to meet somebody organically. So that's why I say I have no clue on which direction it's going to lead me, but I'm hoping someone's going to reach out to me, or I'm going to run into someone.
I want Mason. I love this. Like, I want Mason. Like, these seem so cool. Wouldn't the ultimate irony be as if somebody sees this podcast and reaches out to Mason, and that's where love happens?
I hope that actually does happen. But I want to hear some stories now. I want to pivot to stories. Give us your craziest dating app story.
So my craziest dating app story. Oh gosh, because there are so many, but the one I'm thinking of is so off color and horrendously. So like I was talking to this guy, and it's like swiping, and I'm like, maybe I think this could be something. And then like in the middle of it, he goes, okay, so I have a request, and he's like, I'm actually married, and I want to pay you $1,000 to F my wife while I watch. And I was like, it just hit me so odd because I was like, I've never been with a woman, so I wouldn't know. First of all, I wouldn't even know what to do. But it was so strange, the request, that I honestly like kind of froze up because I was like, I finally just wrote the guy and I was like, oh, that's really out of left field. All of it.
And he was on a gay app and he was married?
Yeah, so he kind of like, I guess this was like his reveal after chatting with me and sort of like, buttering me up and like talking to me. And I was like, oh, this guy's actually like communicating like a human. And then he has this reveal. And it's I have no judgment about that, but at all, like people live and let live. I really believe that. But me is a very much like they call it, there's a thing called Gold Star Gay. It's a man who's never slept with a woman, but there's also one more level, which is platinum, which is somebody who's born C-section. That's me. Like I have no experience. I would have no idea what to do. We'd be starting from ground zero. And it just made me chuckle and laugh because I was like, I really think you chose the wrong guy to ask this question to. And like, I just was like, Thank you very much for the offer. I am flattered and freaked out, and
at the same time. Okay, I've heard of men who are on gay apps or who are secretly closeted gay, but they're married. But then to say, "Hey, will you please fuck my wife and let me watch you do it
and pay you?"
On that note, Mason, what is your craziest dating app story?
Okay, so I feel like I want to bring this one up, but okay, so Gina.
Yes.
Someone from the show catfished me.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Mason and I were at a reality show together.
They were very close in the circle group that we were involved in.
Yeah.
So they saw me in person. They got to know me in person. They talked to me, and they're nice and all that, very sweet. But they used a whole different person. They wanted to see more than just my appearance. They wanted to see everything underneath.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Then once when I kind of pieced it together, I was like, how do you know certain things that I have not yet to talk about? And then I found out that they were from the show and they revealed who it was.
Oh, that is all kinds of shady.
Do you know what the intent was? Was that person trying to get some, compromising pictures of you for something? Or was this person who was interested in you romantically but catfished you? The latter?
He was interested in me.
Okay.
He told me when I found out who it was, I was like, I don't know why you had to do all of that. He was like, well, because I was nervous, because you're like the type of ideal guy that I like. And you know what? It's just like, I didn't know what to do. And I saw you and I went for it. And
on a dating app.
I was just like, I was thrown so back. It's because I had deep conversations at that table at a restaurant and I sat right next to him. And it's just like,
when we're on the reality show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy though? That, I mean, this goes to what we're talking about, that, here's someone who's open to meeting people organically, right?
Yeah.
And isn't this the irony of this? Somebody who actually was interested in you romantically, instead of just in a normal way strike up a conversation, try to get to know you, try to get to, try to get you to know me. Instead, I'm going to create this whole fake profile on a dating app and try and it's like, this is just the world we live in,
Okay, yeah. So let me get this straight. This guy.
Yeah, you have to tell it again.
So this person that could have asked you out in real life,
Yes.
instead met with you on a dating app, posed as someone else, and then you found out about it and you were like, this is all kinds of shady. What did he say about that? He just said, I'm nervous?
He kept apologizing and was like, I know you might find like me creepy after this. And I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
you find
Yeah.
me creepy after doing
Duh.
that. Like, I was just like so thrown back. Like, I felt so uncomfortable in that situation. I didn't know what to do. And I told him exactly how uncomfortable that just made me. Because not only did he do all that, but before any of that, he bought me food because I didn't have money at the restaurant. He bought me food too.
Shit.
I was just like,
Creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you were nice and then you got all crazy on me. I mean, I've had that happen as well. Nice turning crazy. Yeah, that's like reality in my world.
Obviously, that the person who did that, or is so inadequate. It doesn't know how to go about in real life, that they feel like that's what they need to resort to, and doesn't understand that, like, how would anybody in their right mind not understand why that would be creepy? Like, if I'm interested in someone.
See, if dating apps didn't exist, this wouldn't have happened, Mason. You would have gotten a straight up guy who didn't get to pose as someone else and swipe on you and get all weird like that. I'm sorry that happened, honey. And Mason, thank you for being so vulnerable and being such a really genuinely likable person. I have no doubt that you're going to find true love. You need to just stay true to who you are, because that's a beautiful thing. Right, Brian?
thank you, Gina.
I agree. Sweetheart. Yeah, you're a good guy. This has been a delightful conversation, guys. Thank you for including me.
No, thank you. Thank both of you. I think you guys brought in some really interesting perspective. I love the fact that, the different generation and, we Gen Xers give a lot of crap to the younger generation, but Mason, you have restored my faith.
Yes.
In millennials and Gen Zers. So
I want to date
you.
Mason. Oh, well, he could be my son, so maybe not.
If anybody's watching,
Yes.
Yes.
Aw.
DateMason.com.
Date
Yes.
Mason. Find Mason a soulmate.com.
DM us. We'll connect you with them.
Find Brian a soulmate.com as well, though.
Thank
It'll
you.
happen. It's time.
It will
With
happen.
boobs like that, it will happen,
It will
Brian.
happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. This was a great conversation. I learned a lot,
Me
and also,
too.
and to be honest with you, I mean, this is really a podcast about how much we hate dating apps. But once in a while, it restores my faith in humanity. So that was awesome.
Ish. Yeah, I still hate dating apps.
Oh, I still hate dating apps too. I'm saying it. At least I still have some optimism and hope for mankind. Though,
Yeah,
going forward.
Mason kind of gave a little bit of that back to us. Well, thanks for joining us for yet another episode of I Hate Dating Apps. You can't love with them.
And you can't love without them.
Till next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I hate dating apps.
Hey, app daters and haters, tell us your dating app experience and we just might bring you on as a guest for future episodes. Head to IHateDatingApps.com and click on the big yellow Tell Us Your Story button. You can't miss it. We've got a lot of fun content on our social channels, so please follow us at I Hate Dating Apps on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And on Instagram, we're at I Hate Dating Apps Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast.